What if everything you thought you knew about pregnancy suddenly doubled overnight? Not just the joy, not just the anticipation, but the exhaustion, the uncertainty, the physical changes that seem to rewrite your body's limits. Twin pregnancy is often portrayed as a magical surprise, a double blessing wrapped in adorable matching outfits and synchronized smiles. But behind the beautiful ultrasound images and the excited reactions lies a reality that very few people openly discuss. The symptoms can feel stronger, the emotional waves deeper, and the responsibility heavier. Your body adapts in ways that surprise even experienced mothers. And the truth is, preparing for twins requires a different level of awareness, care, and resilience. Today, we're diving into what nobody tells you about twin pregnancy, the different symptoms, the special care, and the physical changes that transform you from the inside out. Twin pregnancy is not simply pregnancy times 2. It is a unique biological journey with its own rhythm, challenges, and extraordinary beauty. While many resources focus on single pregnancies, mothers expecting twins often discover that their experiences feel more intense, more complex, and sometimes more overwhelming than they anticipated. Understanding what is happening inside your body empowers you to move through this season with confidence instead of fear. In this video, we will explore the real physical changes, the symptoms that may surprise you, and the specialized care that helps ensure a healthy journey for both babies and mother. If you find value in honest, empowering content about pregnancy and motherhood, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss future insights designed to support your journey. Twin pregnancy. What nobody tells you: different symptoms, special care, and physical changes. Twin pregnancy begins long before the visible curve of the belly announces itself to the world. It starts in a moment invisible to the eye, when two embryos begin to grow simultaneously, demanding nutrients, hormones, and energy at an accelerated pace. What nobody tells you is how quickly your body understands that this journey will not follow the typical script. Hormone levels rise faster and often higher than in singleton pregnancies, which can intensify nausea, fatigue, and emotional sensitivity in the first trimester. Many mothers report that exhaustion feels less like sleepiness and more like a deep cellular drain, as if every system in the body is recalibrating to sustain two developing lives. Even early weight gain may appear sooner, not because of excess, but because the uterus expands more rapidly. This early intensity can create anxiety, especially if expectations were based on stories of single pregnancies. The body, however, is not malfunctioning. It is adapting at remarkable speed to meet double the demand with extraordinary precision. As weeks pass, the differences become more tangible. The uterus grows at a faster rate, stretching abdominal muscles earlier and placing pressure on surrounding organs sooner than expected. This can lead to pronounced bloating, shortness of breath, and frequent urination much earlier in pregnancy. Back pain may appear sooner because posture begins to shift in response to the expanding center of gravity. Ligaments soften under the influence of pregnancy hormones, particularly relaxin, preparing the body for birth but also increasing joint instability. What feels like discomfort is often the body creating space for two separate growth patterns occurring at once. Twin pregnancies can also bring heightened hunger, as caloric needs increase to nourish both babies adequately. However, eating more is not simply about quantity. It requires thoughtful balance of protein, iron, calcium, and folate to prevent deficiencies. These physical sensations may feel overwhelming at times, yet they reflect a powerful biological intelligence guiding each adaptation with purpose and careful coordination. Fatigue during a twin pregnancy often transcends ordinary tiredness and becomes a defining feature of daily life. Many mothers describe it as a constant heaviness that no nap fully resolves, especially in the first and third trimesters. This profound exhaustion stems from increased blood volume, heightened metabolic demands, and the continuous work of building two placentas instead of one. The cardiovascular system works harder, pumping greater amounts of blood to sustain fetal growth, which can cause dizziness or lightheadedness. Iron stores may deplete more rapidly, increasing the risk of anemia if supplementation is not monitored carefully. This is why medical providers typically recommend more frequent blood tests during twin pregnancies, Sleep itself may become fragmented as the body struggles to find comfortable positions and the mind processes the magnitude of what lies ahead. Yet within this fatigue is a reminder of resilience, because even when energy feels scarce, the body continues performing complex tasks with unwavering dedication, constructing two intricate human beings simultaneously. Morning sickness in twin pregnancy can be more intense due to elevated levels of human chorionic gonadotropin, commonly known as HCG. Higher hormone concentrations can amplify nausea, vomiting, and food aversions, sometimes extending beyond the first trimester. For some women, this intensity may develop into hyperemesis gravidarum, requiring medical attention to prevent dehydration and nutrient imbalance. What nobody tells you is how emotionally draining persistent nausea can be when paired with physical exhaustion. Simple daily routines such as cooking or commuting may suddenly feel monumental. Smells that once seemed neutral can trigger waves of discomfort. Yet this heightened response is a reflection of the body's hormonal environment, designed to protect and sustain both embryos. Hydration becomes especially critical, as fluid balance supports increased blood volume and amniotic fluid production. Small, frequent meals rich in protein can stabilize blood sugar levels, reducing symptom severity. While challenging, these symptoms often ease as the placenta matures and hormone levels stabilize, offering reassurance that the body is gradually finding equilibrium. Weight gain during twin pregnancy follows a different trajectory than singleton gestation, because two babies, two amniotic sacs, and often two placentas are developing. Recommended weight gain ranges are higher to support healthy growth. This increase is not merely cosmetic. It reflects essential tissue expansion, increased blood volume, and nutrient storage. However, societal expectations and body image pressures can create internal conflict, especially when physical changes accelerate. Stretch marks may appear earlier and more prominently as skin stretches rapidly. The abdomen may feel tight or itchy as collagen fibers adjust to accommodate expansion. Supporting skin elasticity through hydration and gentle care can ease discomfort, but understanding that these marks symbolize growth can transform perspective. Healthcare providers closely monitor weight gain to ensure both babies are thriving while minimizing risks such as gestational diabetes or hypertension. Balanced nutrition and moderate physical activity, when approved medically, help maintain strength and stamina. In twin pregnancy, weight gain becomes not a measure of excess but a testament to the body's capacity to sustain double life. Medical monitoring becomes more frequent and detailed when expecting twins. Ultrasound appointments often occur more regularly to track growth patterns, amniotic fluid levels, and placental function. This increased surveillance is not meant to create fear but to detect potential complications early, such as growth discrepancies between babies or signs of preterm labor. Blood pressure checks become especially important because twin pregnancies carry a higher risk of preeclampsia, a condition characterized by elevated blood pressure and organ stress. Gestational diabetes screening may also receive closer attention due to increased metabolic demands. What nobody tells you is how emotionally complex these frequent appointments can feel. While they provide reassurance, they can also heighten anxiety as each scan becomes a milestone filled with anticipation. Yet this level of care represents a protective framework, ensuring that both mother and babies receive individualized attention. Twin pregnancy invites a partnership between body and medical guidance, blending natural resilience with informed oversight to optimize outcomes for all involved. The risk of preterm labor is significantly higher in twin pregnancies, as the uterus reaches its capacity earlier than in singleton gestations. This possibility can create an underlying sense of urgency throughout the second and third trimesters. Cervical length measurements may be performed to assess early signs of dilation, and activity modifications might be recommended to reduce strain. Rest becomes not just a comfort but a preventative strategy, allowing the body to conserve energy and reduce pressure on the cervix. What nobody tells you is how challenging it can be to slow down in a culture that glorifies productivity. Accepting limitations may feel frustrating, yet honoring them becomes an act of protection. Hydration, adequate nutrition, and stress management contribute to reducing premature contractions. While not all twin pregnancies result in early delivery, preparing emotionally and practically for the possibility can reduce fear. The body is balancing growth and timing, and careful attention can help prolong gestation, giving both babies valuable time to mature before birth. Physical mobility often shifts dramatically in the third trimester of a twin pregnancy. The abdomen may feel disproportionately heavy, and movements such as bending, turning in bed, or climbing stairs require deliberate effort. Pelvic pressure intensifies as both babies settle lower, compressing nerves and blood vessels. Swelling in the feet and hands may become more noticeable due to increased fluid retention and circulatory changes. Compression garments and elevation can offer relief, while gentle prenatal stretching supports flexibility. What nobody tells you is how this physical heaviness can influence emotional state, sometimes leading to impatience or vulnerability. The body feels both powerful and burdened, simultaneously capable and strained. Sleep positions become strategic, often relying on supportive pillows to maintain circulation and comfort. Despite discomfort, these sensations signal that the body is nearing a transformative threshold. Muscles, ligaments, and bones collaborate to support remarkable weight and pressure. Each step, though slower, reflects endurance and preparation for the intense yet extraordinary moment of birth approaching. Emotional fluctuations during twin pregnancy can be amplified by hormonal shifts and the psychological weight of raising two newborns simultaneously. Excitement may coexist with anxiety, joy with apprehension. Concerns about financial preparation, sleep deprivation, and the logistics of caring for two infants can surface unexpectedly. What nobody tells you is that these thoughts are not signs of inadequacy but natural responses to significant responsibility. Support systems become essential, whether through family, friends, or community groups for parents of multiples. Sharing fears can reduce isolation and normalize uncertainty. Hormones such as progesterone and estrogen influence mood regulation, sometimes intensifying sensitivity or tearfulness. Recognizing these changes as physiological rather than personal weakness fosters compassion toward oneself. Preparing mentally for twin motherhood includes acknowledging vulnerability alongside strength. The emotional landscape of twin pregnancy mirrors the physical one, expansive, intense, and transformative. Within this duality lies growth not only of babies but of identity, as a mother gradually reshapes her understanding of capacity and resilience. Nutrition in twin pregnancy demands intentional planning to meet elevated nutritional requirements. Protein intake becomes especially critical, as it supports fetal tissue development and placental growth. Iron needs increase to sustain expanded blood volume and prevent anemia. Calcium and vitamin D support bone formation, while omega-3 fatty acids contribute to neurological development. What nobody tells you is how strategic eating can directly influence energy levels and pregnancy outcomes. Frequent, balanced meals stabilize blood sugar and reduce fatigue. Hydration supports amniotic fluid balance and circulation. Some healthcare providers recommend modestly higher caloric intake than singleton pregnancies, but quality remains more important than quantity. Prenatal vitamins tailored for multiples may be suggested to address increased micronutrient demands. Listening to hunger cues while prioritizing nutrient-dense foods becomes a daily practice in self-care. In twin pregnancy, nourishment is not merely about satisfying appetite. It is about constructing two intricate bodies simultaneously, ensuring that each receives adequate building blocks for healthy development. Body image undergoes profound transformation during twin pregnancy. Rapid expansion can challenge previous perceptions of beauty and identity. Clothing may feel restrictive earlier, and comments from others about size can inadvertently trigger self-consciousness. What nobody tells you is how important it is to redefine beauty during this season. The body is not expanding randomly, it is fulfilling a biologically extraordinary task. Stretch marks, swelling, and changes in skin pigmentation are visual markers of adaptation. Practicing gratitude for the body's capabilities can soften critical thoughts. Gentle exercise, when medically approved, supports circulation and confidence, reminding mothers that strength remains present even amid physical change. Surrounding oneself with supportive voices rather than comparison-driven narratives helps maintain emotional balance. Twin pregnancy challenges cultural ideals of minimal weight gain or effortless glow, replacing them with a more authentic portrayal of growth and resilience. Accepting these changes becomes part of preparing not only for childbirth but for the evolving identity of motherhood itself. Sleep becomes both more necessary and more elusive as twin pregnancy progresses. Increased abdominal size can restrict comfortable positions, and frequent bathroom visits interrupt rest cycles. Heartburn and shortness of breath may intensify when lying flat, requiring creative pillow arrangements to maintain elevation. What nobody tells you is how cumulative sleep deprivation can affect mood, concentration, and physical stamina even before the babies arrive. Prioritizing rest during the day, even through short naps, can compensate for fragmented nighttime sleep. Establishing calming bedtime rituals supports relaxation, signaling to the nervous system that restoration is possible despite discomfort. Limiting screen exposure and maintaining a consistent sleep schedule can also improve quality of rest. Although sleep may never feel fully satisfying in late pregnancy, honoring its importance becomes preparation for postpartum demands. Rest is not indulgence but investment. In twin pregnancy, conserving energy through intentional rest strengthens resilience, ensuring that the body and mind remain equipped for the final weeks of gestation. Preparation for birth in twin pregnancy often includes discussing multiple delivery scenarios with healthcare providers. Depending on fetal positioning, placental placement, and overall health, vaginal birth may be possible, or a cesarean section may be recommended. What nobody tells you is how empowering it can be to understand these possibilities in advance rather than approaching birth with rigid expectations. Flexibility becomes a source of strength, allowing mothers to adapt decisions to evolving circumstances. Hospital bags may include additional supplies in anticipation of longer stays, especially if babies require monitoring in a neonatal intensive care unit. Birth plans in twin pregnancies often emphasize safety and responsiveness rather than specific experiences. Prenatal education tailored to multiples can clarify procedures and reduce fear of the unknown. Ultimately, the goal remains healthy outcomes for both babies and mother. Trusting the medical team while remaining informed fosters confidence. Birth, whether surgical or vaginal, represents culmination of months of adaptation, courage, and extraordinary biological coordination. As delivery approaches, the body intensifies its preparation. Braxton Hicks contractions may become more frequent as the uterus practices for labor. Pelvic pressure deepens, and movements feel heavier as babies settle into position. What nobody tells you is how anticipation can blend with impatience during these final weeks. Carrying twins often feels like reaching the edge of physical capacity, yet the body continues holding space for growth. Emotional readiness develops alongside physical signals, as mothers envision meeting two distinct personalities at once. Final medical checks ensure that both heartbeats remain strong and that growth trajectories stay stable. Packing for the hospital becomes symbolic, marking transition from pregnancy to parenthood. These last days demand both patience and surrender, trusting that timing will unfold appropriately. The body, stretched and tested, has carried not one but two lives through months of change. Each contraction, each shift in position, signals the threshold of transformation approaching with undeniable momentum. Twin pregnancy ultimately reveals dimensions of strength rarely acknowledged in everyday conversation. What nobody tells you is that the journey reshapes not only the body but the perception of personal limits. Carrying two babies requires adaptation at every level: physical, emotional, nutritional, and psychological. It invites humility, as plans may shift and expectations evolve. Yet it also cultivates resilience, proving that the body can expand beyond perceived boundaries. The symptoms, the special care, and the physical changes are not random challenges but integral components of a complex biological masterpiece unfolding in real time. By understanding these realities, mothers can replace fear with informed confidence. Twin pregnancy is not simply an amplified version of a single experience. It is a distinct path marked by intensity and profound beauty. In embracing its uniqueness, mothers step into a deeper awareness of their own capability, discovering that within the doubling of life comes an expansion of strength that endures far beyond birth. Twin pregnancy is a journey that stretches the body, tests endurance, and deepens emotional awareness in ways few experiences can. It reveals strength hidden beneath uncertainty and resilience woven into every physical change. While the symptoms may feel intense and the care more specialized, each challenge reflects the extraordinary task your body is accomplishing. Understanding what is happening transforms fear into empowerment. As you move forward, remember that you are not simply carrying two babies. You are embodying adaptability, courage, and growth at the highest level. And in that transformation, you are already becoming stronger than you ever imagined possible.